revision lesson of Unit 3, Consumer Behavior. It is about the budget line. Budget line is a line or curve that shows the various combinations of two commodities that a consumer can buy using his limited income with the given price of the two goods. Now, let's illustrate the theory of the budget line using the following example. Suppose Khalid has income of bir 100 and he consumes two goods X and Y. Let's say good X orange and let's say good Y as banana. And the price of commodity X is given, which is bir 10, and the price of commodity Y is given, which is bir 5. Now, first, if Khalid spent the whole income for the purchase of good X, that means the price of X times the quantity of X plus the price of Y times the quantity of Y will give you income of a consumer. And from this information, income of a consumer is given, which is 100 bir, and the price of commodity X is given, which is 10 bir, and the price of commodity Y is given, which is bir 5. Now, if Khalid spend the whole income for the purchase of commodity X, that means he will not buy any amount of Y. That means the price of commodity X times the quantity of commodity X plus the price of commodity Y times the quantity of commodity Y is 0, which is equal to income of a consumer. And this will give you the price of commodity X times the quantity of commodity X, which is equal to income of a consumer. When we divide both sides for price of X, then we can cancel price of X. For the price of X, this is the amount of commodity X that a consumer can buy. Spending the whole income for the purchase of good X will be income divided by price of X. This is the horizontal intercept or the x-intercept of the budget line. So from this example, the amount of commodity X that Khalid can buy, if the price of commodity X is bir 10 and the income of Khalid is bir 100, 100 divided by 10 will give you 10. This is the amount of commodity X that Khalid can buy, spending the whole income for the purchase of commodity X. For example, let's say X is orange and Y is banana. If the price of a kilogram of orange is bir 10 and the price of a kilogram of banana is bir 5, and if Khalid has 100 bir, if he spent the whole 100 bir for the purchase of orange, he will buy 10 kilogram of orange. This is the horizontal intercept or the x-intercept of the budget line. Secondly, if Khalid spent the whole income for the purchase of commodity Y, that means the price of commodity X times quantity of commodity X plus the price of commodity Y times the quantity of commodity Y will give you income of a consumer. If he spent the whole income for the purchase of good Y, he will not buy any amount of X. So the price of X times the quantity of X is 0 plus the price of commodity Y times the quantity of Y equals to income of a consumer, and this is 0 plus price of Y times the quantity of Y equals to income of a consumer, and this will give you the price of Y times the quantity of Y, which is equal to income of a consumer. And this is when we divide both sides for the price of Y, and then we left with the amount of commodity Y, which is equal to income divided by the price of Y. This, the quantity of Y, M divided by price of Y will give you the amount of commodity Y that a consumer can buy, spending the whole income for the purchase of good Y only. So from our example, income of a consumer is given, which is 100 bir, and the price of commodity X is given, which is 10 bir, and the price of commodity Y is given, which is bir 5, and then the amount of commodity Y that he can buy will be 100 divided by price of Y, which is bir 5, then this is 20. This is the vertical intercept of the budget line, or the y-intercept of the budget line. You do have 100 bir, and the price of a kilogram of orange is bir 10, and the price of commodity Y or the price of a kilogram of banana is $5. Hence, if you spend the whole 100 birr for the purchase of banana, you can buy 20 bananas. You can buy 20 bananas. Now, by joining the vertical and horizontal intercepts of the budget line, we can construct the budget line. This is the budget line. It shows the various combinations of the two commodities X and Y that a consumer can buy using his limited income. Beyond this point, the consumer cannot buy any combinations. Let me show you the way of calculating the slope of the budget line. The y-intercept is the value of y that you get by putting the value of x0. Then this is 0, 20. Similarly, the x-intercept is the value of x that you get by putting the value of y, 0. So this is 10, 0. So by taking any two intercepts, we can calculate the slope of a curve. And the slope is calculated by dividing the change in the y for the change in x. This is change in y means y final minus y initial divided by x final minus x initial. So this is the slope. Let's take this 0 as x initial and this 20 as y initial. Let's take this 10 as x final and this 0 as y final. Now, when we substitute this information, we get the value of y final is 0 minus y initial is 20 divided by the value of x final is 10 minus x initial is 0. And this will give you minus 20 over 10, which is equal to minus 2. So the slope of the budget line is minus 2. But there is other means of calculating the slope of the budget line. As I told you earlier, m over price of y is the vertical intercept. So we can substitute this m over price of y by 20. So this coordinate will be 0, 0, m over price of y, because the value of 20 is equal to m over price of y. Similarly, the value of 10 is equal to m over price of x. So this coordinate can be m over price of x 0, m over price of x 0. Now let's take this 0 as x initial and m over price of y as y initial. Let's take this m over price of x as x final and 0 as y final. And then we can calculate the slope which is equal to the changing y for the changing x, and which is y final minus y initial divided by x final minus x initial. So from this information, the value of y final is 0 and the value of y initial is m over price of y. This is y initial. And the value of x final is m over price of x, m over price of x minus x initial is 0, x initial is 0. Then this will give you minus m over price of y divided by, this is m over price of x. We can multiply by the reciprocal. This is minus m over price of y multiplied by price of x divided by m. When we cancel m for m, and we left with minus price of x divided by the price of commodity y. This tells us the slope of the budget line is the ratio of the price of the two goods. And when we substitute the previous example, the price of commodity x is given, which is minus the price of x is given, which is 10 birr, divided by the price of y is also given, which is birr 5. And this will give you minus 2, which is similar with the way that we get with a usual formula of calculating the slope of the budget line. So I show you the slope of the budget line is the ratio of the price of the two goods. That means, in other words, we can calculate the slope of the budget line by dividing the price of x for the price of y. Next, let's see the effects of changes in income and price on the budget line. With increase in income or decrease in income, there's a change in the budget line. and with increase in price and decrease in price, the change in the budget line. So what are the effects? First of all, let's see the effects of changes in income while the price of the two goods remains unchanged. Here, this is the original budget line, and with there is no change in the price of X was initially how many bar? It was per 10, it remains unchanged, and the price of commodity Y is per 5, it remains unchanged. The only factor that will be changed here is income of a consumer. Income of a consumer was per 100. Let's say now the income is doubled and it increased to per 200. So other than there's a change in the vertical and horizontal intercepts of the budget line. So M over price of X will give you the horizontal intercept, which is 200 divided by 10, which is 20. So the horizontal intercept of the new budget line is 20. Similarly, the vertical intercept of the new budget line will be M over price of Y, which is equal to 200 divided by the price of commodity Y, which is per 5, which is 40. This is the vertical intercept of the new budget line. When we join the vertical intercept and the horizontal intercept of the new budget line, we get the new budget line. So with increase in income of consumer, the budget line will shift outward, indicating that increase in income of a consumer allowed us to buy more of a commodity. So while price of the two goods remains unchanged, increase in income of consumer shifts the budget line outward. And the opposite holds true. That means with a decline in income of consumer, then the budget line will shift inward. For example, the price of commodity X was per 10 and it remains unchanged. The price of commodity Y was per 5, it remains unchanged. The only factor that will be changed is income of a consumer. It was 100 per, and now the income is halved and reduced to per 50. So with a decline in income of consumer, there's a change in the vertical and horizontal intercepts of the budget line. So the horizontal intercept of the budget line will be M over price of X, which is 50 divided by 10, which is equal to 5. And this is the horizontal intercept of the new budget line. Then there is also another change, vertical intercept of the new budget line, which is M over price of Y, which is 50 divided by price of commodity Y, which is per 5, and this will give you 10. This is the vertical intercept of the new budget line. By joining the vertical and horizontal intercepts of the new budget line, we can construct the new budget line. So with decline in income of consumer, then the budget line will shift inward, indicating that it allows a consumer to buy less amount of a commodity. Now, we are getting the effects of changes in income while the price of the two goods remains unchanged. Now let's see the effects of changes in price of both goods by equal percent while income of a consumer remains unchanged. First of all, let's see the increase in price of both goods by equal percent. That means the income of a consumer was 100 per, it remains unchanged, but the price of commodity X was per 10. Now let's see the effects of increase in price of X only. If there's a rise in the price of X, let's take the price of commodity X. The price of commodity X is doubled and it increased to per 20. And if there is unequal increase in both goods X and Y, if the price of X is doubled, then the price of Y must be doubled. That means price of Y is per 5, and now the price of Y is doubled and it increased to per 10. Now there's a change in the vertical and horizontal intercepts of the new budget line. That means M over price of X will give you the horizontal intercept of the new budget line, which is 100 divided vertical intercept of the new budget line. So while income of a consumer remains unchanged with increase in price of both goods by equal percent, the budget line will shift inward, allowing us to buy less amount of a commodity. The opposite will be true when there is a fall in the price of both goods by equal percent. For example, income of a consumer was 100 birr and the price of commodity X was initially 10 birr. Now let's see the effects when the income is halved. Let's take the price of X declined to birr 5, and if the price of X is